A few years ago, I, 32F, took over my mom's portion of the family annual Thanksgiving host rotation. It's a fun event because I get to see family I generally don't see the rest of the year, and I love hosting. It is semi-potluck, and I make a point of asking about allergies and food preferences. This year, my cousin 36M told me he was joining his new wife. They got married in July, and her daughter, who is around 8. Cousin was added to the group chat and didn't say anything about allergies/preferences when asked. Forward to Thanksgiving. One of the desserts I made was peanut butter cookies. My family and I love them. Cousin's ST ate one and is allergic to peanuts. I had no idea and would never have made them if I knew. Husband and I took them to a standalone ER that was about 5 minutes from the house. We stayed with them for some time until she was transferred to the local hospital where she stayed overnight. She ended up being fine. Last week I got a text from my cousin with a pic of the hospital bill. He wanted to know how I wanted to handle it. I called and he and wife expected us to pay the bill. I told him we weren't going to do that. I reminded him that he had told me nobody had allergies, and hubby and I did pay the copay at the ER, $500, because we felt bad. He had an argument, and now the family is involved. They're mostly on my side, but some are getting into me for having anything peanut-related cause everybody has peanut allergies nowadays. The bill is about $6,000. We don't have it. The $500 we paid came out of our Christmas budget. I feel bad his ST got sick. Ultimately, though, it's their responsibility to handle things like this. AITA for refusing to pay, not the idiot. Your cousin should take full responsibility for his ST's medical bill for being negligent by not mentioning her allergies. You're not responsible for this incident, not the idiot. As the parent of a child with peanut allergies, you can't expect the world to pay attention to this for you. Ultimately, it's going to be the child/parent's responsibility. Peanut allergies are common, but you can't expect the world to just give up peanuts. My 5-year-old knows how to ask if foods have peanuts before eating. We've also been showing up to parties with a dessert in hand for our child because 99 times out of 100 the dessert/treats are not peanut safe. Very rarely does someone go out of their way to be peanut safe without being told in advance. Story Hub. I, 31, am gonna be having an honest Christmas celebration this year. The menu is usual and everyone is familiar with it. My sales kids are what they call the most vicious picky eaters out there. Mind you, they are 6 and 9 and are probably just being deliberately difficult to their parents. So called to inform me that she will be bringing food for her kids to eat at Christmas dinner. I asked why and she said that they will not be able to eat anything from the menu after looking at it. I said I was sorry, but there isn't enough space at the table for extra meals, and besides that the kids should start learning to be more tolerant to some foods, especially at family holiday gatherings where it's expected for everyone to just eat what's in front of them without complaining. She went on about how difficult kids can be. Mostly can't relate, but I get it. But still, she should keep in mind that it's probably a passing phase for them, and so sucking it up for one dinner wouldn't affect them. She said that I don't get it, and that she doesn't want them to stay hungry or feed on snacks. I apologized and declined. My husband got involved in this and is saying I'm being inconsiderate towards my guests. He said I lose nothing by allowing them to bring food, but I disagree because this was not part of my plans. And if anything, this should be a teachable moment for the kids to know that they can't expect to be catered for all the time. He got more upset and told me that his sister is heavily reconsidering coming to a celebratory dinner where her kids weren't allowed to bring their own food. They're applying pressure on me, saying I'll ruin the celebration if I keep trying to die on this hill. Wait, TA. It's not your place to provide a teachable moment. Get over yourself. She's not asking you to cook special food and is bringing it herself. Their food can be put on their plate, so your no-room argument makes no sense. Make sure to dress up as Scrooge for the meal. YTA, why are you so intent on ruining Christmas for children? This won't actually put you out at all. You're just gatekeeping Christmas dinner for some weird reason. I mean, I can be a control freak, but I've got nothing on you. But thinks your heart needs to grow a couple of sizes. No one likes the sound of kids crying because they're hungry and don't like the food. Don't make everyone listen to it. If you're enjoying the video, don't forget to subscribe. My 29M, Y30F, and my best friend Cyan, 25M, do not see eye to eye. Some backstory. My wife and I moved for my new job. Cyan was the cousin of a friend, so I was thrilled to know someone. We quickly became best friends, closer than brothers. In COVID, our job was in person versus my wife's OFH. Cyan is a very kind person. I think my wife hated everything about Cyan. She thought he was too goofy and hated how he teased her. My wife takes things seriously, and she's a romantic, so things like date nights are a big deal to her. She hated when Cyan hung out, even when I invited him. A few months ago, I had a 4-month project across the world. I needed the promotion. My wife ended up needing surgery, and she, unlike me, didn't make close friends here. Her friends/fam were too far. She couldn't do normal things post-surgery and wanted me to come back. I complained to Cyan, and he suggested that he pop on over to help her. He ended up doing a lot more and my wife heavily relied on his kindness. When I came back, it was like my wife flipped her switch. Things that were immature became playful. She constantly fell for his fish for compliments, and it was like Cyan could do no wrong. Cyan still hung out, but it was like he couldn't snap out of caretaker mode. The two of them are practically joined at the hip. When I went to work, my wife packs Cyan a lunch too, and this is a lot better than hers or mine. Cyan needs this or that or whatever. She showers him with attention. My wife can be overbearing like that. At a small party I came with my wife, and she immediately zoomed in on Cyan and monopolized all his time. After he went to the bathroom, which was basically the only time she left him alone, I pulled him aside and told him I knew my wife was clingy, and it was okay if he kept boundaries. He wasn't obliged to hang around my wife. I said it kindly. He turned red, told me I was an asshole, and stormed away. He left without saying goodbye to anybody but my wife. YTA, you're jealous of them spending time together because you enjoyed neglecting your wife for your friend, and now he's less available. You're mad at the thing you wanted to happen. Them getting along has happened, and you're peeved that at your suggestion he was there for her and supported her when he didn't. I don't know, and neither do you, whether your wife is trying to prove a point about how to be caring and supportive. Because you weren't towards her, whether they had an affair, or whether you're just someone who likes to be in control all the time. It kind of sounds like both you and your wife are in love with Cyan. In any case, it seems that you are unhappy regardless of the friendship/lack thereof that your wife and Cyan have, and you also seem keen to fault your wife whatever she does. I think AITA, this story has a lot of U-turns, but ultimately, you seem to be pissed because somebody, I'm not sure who, Tab, is not giving you enough attention, which is only an odd move, because when your wife was in the exact same position, you imply she was being unreasonable, which sort of makes you unreasonable by your own definition. Story Hub. I 15 have colitis, so to sum it up, gaining weight isn't easy for me and never has been. My family knows that but don't believe that's the reason I'm so skinny. They've come to the conclusion I have a raging eating disorder even though they've seen me eat, and complain about me eating stuff they feel hurt my stomach. It honestly still astonishes me they still think this way after the way I ate at Thanksgiving. I legitimately ate a feast that day. Anyways, fast forward to a couple weeks ago. My family planned an early gift exchange because some of my relatives couldn't be with us on Christmas and my aunt, and I got chosen to buy for each other. So obviously, she asked what I wanted and so forth, and I did the same. I only really asked for makeup, not necessarily clothes, but I obviously wouldn't mind it. We originally agreed on what we were good at before the exchange because we're close like that. But a week before the exchange, she asked me what size I was. I obviously told her excitedly because she has a really good style. I'm a 000 or extra small, just a 5. But fast forward to the day of the exchange, and we were all opening gifts and I go to open mine, and I see this really pretty sundress, but in 4 sizes too big. So I asked if she maybe had gotten it bigger by mistake, but what she said next shook me to my core. She went on to say that she had basically gotten it to encourage me to gain weight, because starving myself isn't healthy and she really cares about me. I literally was fuming, especially because she knows about how insecure I am about my weight and about my colitis. So I ultimately stormed out and walked home. Our houses are within walking distance. Ever since I had angry texts from the rest of my family calling me ungrateful and rude, and basically some bull about how she cares, and didn't mean it in a rude way. I honestly don't give a fuck. How could she embarrass me like that in front of everyone? I don't even starve myself, that's the thing. I literally ate half the pie while I was at her house. I'm just really upset at the moment, and having second thoughts on what I did. I'm honestly contemplating on whether I was truly overreacting, and she was just coming from a place of love, or maybe she was just being a dick. So I came to Reddit to get your judgment, because I honestly truly need AITA for walking out on my family after my aunt purposely bought me clothes 10 times bigger than me to encourage me to gain weight. Your angry reaction was justified. That's a mean thing to do. You were expecting to open a present, but instead opened up a judgment, disguised as a concern. Boo. It was mature of you to leave and not go off on her. Not the idiot good luck with your health. Not the idiot. Next time you can get her a dress too small and tell her she needs to lose weight to fit into it, and you hope she takes care of her health by losing weight to fit into this dress. She'd probably be offended. Story Hub.